1, read. 2, read more. And 3, I want to show you a method that will encourage you to read more, and which I hope will encourage you to also improve all the other skills that you will be tested like this. It's often said that students, although they have a great deal of specialized knowledge about their core topics or their own scenario, your language skills. So you can ask any teacher and you'll get many different kinds of advice. The important thing to remember is that it has to be something that can work for you, that it can be adapted to your personality, the kind of person that you are. Now, what I'm going to show you now works for me, and it's worked for many students that I've worked with over the years. It might not work for you, but if it does, then I hope you'll find it very, very useful. And if it doesn't, at least you've tried using this technique and you've discovered something about your learning styles. You can adapt the technique I'm going to show you to suit your own particular character, your own personality. You can work alone, or you can work with a learning partner or with other people to use this method. Try it, experiment. Try it for 2 months if you can, or 2 weeks, but give it some extended time and let's see how you do. The 10-step procedure. Step 1, find a suitable article. Now this is more difficult than it seems. You have to know what kind of articles is covered by IELTS. And remember, here we're looking at the academic reading section of the paper. I can tell you this, that the kind of articles that you'll be tested upon are the kind of things that you read in the South China Morning Post or in Time magazine. They are articles designed for general audiences. They're not overly specialized. You can understand them, I can understand them. They are often more general and in many ways simpler than the kind of academic article that you deal with routinely in your university career. If you have trouble deciding on whether or not it's a suitable article, ask a teacher, ask somebody in SIL to give you his or her opinion. I can tell you that as I'm speaking today, the big scientific question is related to SARS. So any article of a suitable length related to SARS, before you read it, I want you to jot down anything you know about that article. And by jot, I mean very quickly. No thinking, no decisions about what tense you're going to use or how you're going to spell words. Just write it down. So SARS, the things that come to my mind are pneumonia, breathing difficulties, disease, hospital, working staff, transmission, ways of transmission. All these different aspects of SARS I would write down on a piece of paper. These are things that I've read about, although I've not read in any detail any information on this topic. I know about this from what I've seen or what people are talking about. This already starts me thinking about the content of this text. And it reassures me because it tells me that I already know quite a bit about this particular topic. Now, of course, in IELTS it's unlikely that you'll get an article that's as topical as SARS, but you might get something to do with pollution or nuclear power the things that you have encountered throughout your university and secondary school life, things that you already have a certain knowledge and even opinions about. Jot them down as quickly as possible. Don't think about spelling, don't think about grammar. Get the words down on paper. Start energizing your thoughts. Start framing your ideas and what you already know about this topic. It is important that this is done quickly. I would say 1 minute, 2 minutes at the very most. Now, you have your jotted down thoughts about the topic. Now go into the article itself and skim it very quickly. Skim means, remember, going very quickly across the text and getting a taste, if you like, an idea, the gist of what the contents of that article is. Now, if it's entitled SARS epidemic, you already know. Yeah, confirm that by running your eye through the whole text. So, remember, step 3, you skim the article for a general understanding of its content. Skim means quickly run your eye over the entire text to make sure that, yes, you have an idea of what this text is about. And then, of course, you can check your ideas, once again, by referring to those little words that you've jotted down about the topic. Now, step 4 is read the first and last paragraph of the text a little bit more slowly. In the first and last paragraph, these topic paragraphs, they very often give you an indication of the writer's point of view on the topic, and they give a sense of the writer's opinion of the topic area. So I think it's worth spending a little time on that first and last paragraph. Again, I emphasize it's a little time. In the IELTS test, you don't have much time to pore over each sentence and each paragraph. Go for the first and last paragraphs and do it quickly. Then, step 5, read the first and last sentence of all the other paragraphs in the text. And again, you're doing this for the same reason as step 4. You're getting an understanding of each of the paragraphs. Now, this means that when you come to answer your questions, you hopefully will have an idea of where the information you need for your answers is located in the text. So, those are your 5 steps, and these are steps that you can do in the exam itself. And again, I remind you, I can't emphasize this enough, this is quick work. Do not waste time poring over each individual sentence. Step 1, find the suitable article. Well, you're provided with that in the test, of course. Step 2, jot down what you know about the topic, and you can do this on the exam paper in the IELTS test. You're allowed to do this. Step 3, skim the article for a general understanding of the topic. Make sure that you're on the right track. See if any of those words that you've jotted down are there in the text. Step 4, read the first and last paragraph a little slowly. Again, here you'll find a sense of what the writer's opinion or the writer's point of view is. What's the purpose of this article? And step 5, read the first and last sentence of each paragraph. Again, for the same reason, it tells you what the content of that paragraph might be. This you can do in the exam. Now, that's easy. The only thing to remember, of course, is to be quick about it. What follows, the remaining 5 steps, are things that you can do if you have a little bit more time before you sit the exam. They're things that you can do to improve your reading skills in general. And remember, because I've said that reading, writing, listening and speaking are closely, intimately related, they will also improve your chances in the other aspects of the IELTS exam. Step 6 then is write 1 or 2 sentences reflecting your own opinion and views about this topic. Why am I asking you to do this? Because it is important that you demonstrate some understanding, some reaction. Remember, we've said that reading is an active process. It involves you making an effort, you reflecting back, if you like, your own opinions on the topic, what you feel about the topic. Otherwise, it's just dead words on a page. Write your opinions down. I'm not asking here for a summary. I'm not asking for a 1,000-word essay. I'm asking for 2 sentences about what you feel. What is your understanding of this topic, what you feel about it, your opinion. Step 7, the next step, is designed to increase your vocabulary. Now, I've heard this many times. Oh, this article contains many new words and it's so time-consuming to look them all up. I'm telling you, you don't need to look them all up. I'm suggesting that you choose 3 to 5 new words. Words that you haven't encountered before, and that you highlight them in your text. Then, I suggest that you look these words up in a dictionary. Now, 3 words is not going to take you that much time. Now, you have to make the decision about whether or not this word is useful or not useful. You may have written down and looked up 5 words that are new or interesting, and you may decide that only one of them is worth recording in your active vocabulary, something that you really want to learn. This word you translate to what I call a working list. A working list is an organized piece of paper, any piece of paper in your notebook, which you can use and refer to once, twice, 3 times a day if you need to, on the bus or in the MTR. It's a list of words organized in some way, and there are different ways of organizing language, but it is important to organize it. And the words that you consider to be useful to you, you can restore in any way that you wish. But the important thing is to refer to them, to recall them, to revise them, because if you just simply make a list on a piece of paper, well, the best way to forget words is to make a list. So use them. Don't leave them dead on your page. And when you feel comfortable that you've learnt them, throw that page away and write a new page. So it's something that is not neat, it's something that is not tidy, it is something that's not graded by a teacher, it is something that is purely for your own use, your working word list. Step 8 is to write in point form a mini presentation that will summarize in about a minute or 2 minutes what you understand by that article. Now, many students find this a challenging prospect, but I don't think it should be. You look at each paragraph and you pull out one point, and in point form you jot it down again in your notebook or on your piece of paper. And then you use those points to talk very briefly about the topic. Who do you talk to? You talk to yourself in a mirror. You talk to yourself while you're riding on the bus home. You talk, better still, to your learning partner in SIL, or use the teacher at the help desk in SIL and talk to him. Say, "Excuse me, but will you listen to me deliver a mini presentation for about 1 minute on the topic of SARS or the topic of nuclear power?" Now, why do you do this? For several reasons. First of all, it actively puts into use the vocabulary